I've said it before and I'll say it again. I want to be a better biker. You see that guy right there? You might be wondering to yourself, what the heck's that guy doing, right? Good question. And that's exactly what I wanted to talk about today, how you can get the most out of your cycle trainer so that once all this dang snow melts, that you, that me, we can all hop on our bikes again, our favorite bikes, and ride the trails like rock stars. Woo! Yeah! I wanted to start by going over the different features that I have found to be useful on this bike. Next, move into how I actually use them. And lastly, why I ended up picking this machine over the scads of options out there. I know cardio is a 4-letter word for most, for bike lovers and for regular folks. In fact, I was at the gym earlier, I was juicing my guns, and when I finally peeled my eyes away from staring at myself in the mirror, I noticed in front of me lay a sea of cardio machines, and they were full of people. I mean, people on almost every single machine. But you know what I didn't see? I didn't see anyone doing actual cardio. They were walking, barely walking in fact. Most of them were staring at their phones. Who knows what they were doing? And I get it. Cardio is hard. I mean, you have to have a really good reason to do it. But I am convinced if you do even just a little, you will be in a way better spot come time to ride again than you would be having to start the season all over again. That's a big boo. I'm not doing that crap anymore. So instead of wasting time and just, walking and going through the motions on these things, I want to share with you how I get the best out of my time on one of these things. And let's be honest, what I really want here is not to be like a cardio dream machine. I just want to be fast on my bike. I just want to be able to ride like the wind, uphill, downhill, and repeat it again the next day. Is that too much to ask? Really? I don't think so. All right, let's get down to business. How do we go from mall walker status to aerobic, cardio, endurance training rocket machines? First then, the features that I have found to be the most useful and helpful for me to keep myself on track is all of the feedback that you get, which is very clearly shown on the screen, right? Next, let's get into how I actually use all of those features to get the results that I want, right? Okay. First thing you can tweak is the time. You have both the total time that you're riding this thing and then the interval of work that you're doing. You can modify and tweak those different things to help you reach whatever goals that you're after. Next, the cadence. The cadence by itself isn't all that important, right? You can go a fast cadence, which for me is like 120. A slow is like 50 or so. By itself, it's meaningless until you add that together with the next bit, which is the resistance. How hard it is. For me, an easy rating is like a 30, a hard rating is about a 60. Most of the time I'm somewhere in between 40 and 60, right? How fast I'm going with the pedals and how hard I'm going equal that power. And I can manipulate those two. Sometimes I want a really high cadence and a low resistance. Sometimes I want a really high resistance and a low cadence. You can arrive at the same number a couple of different ways, and that's the great part, right? Let me share with you my current plan. So my goal is to train 4 days a week on this thing. Each time I'm going between 30 and 45 minutes. Most of my time, days 1, 2, and 3, I'm in what's called a base building, kind of an endurance focused training. The 4th day, I really work on my strength combined with that endurance. I try to mimic and duplicate what my normal mountain bike rides are like. Really intense, maybe a little bit of downhill. Maybe sort of kind of intense, then maybe a rest, then maybe immediately fall. You know what I'm saying, we've all ridden a bike before. I am really going after it that particular day, and I save that till the end of the week because I don't want to be totally spent the next day, right? I've got it on my Friday, I've got the full weekend to recover, and in the off season, that's perfect because I'm not riding in the weekends anyway. Okay, lastly, I want to briefly touch on why and how I ended up with this guy instead of some of those more popular things like the Wahoo Kicker and all of those different variants. Well, it's easy. For me, I am not the only person in my family that uses an exercise machine, right? And in fact, at first I had one of the Wahoo kickers, and I would, each and every time I'd have to take off my back tire and hook it up to this contraption and set up the TV and all of that different nonsense. Well, guess what? My wife doesn't fit on my bike, and she hated it. She refused to use it. Well, immediately that didn't work, because then I'd have to buy two. Then I'd have to take both of our bikes out of the garage each time, and you know what? That's a nightmare. It just didn't work for us. So we ended up with this guy, and to be honest, it's great. It is so simple. It is so easy to use. I could set it up for my size. She could set it up for her size. She could do whatever she wants to do on it. I can do whatever I want on it. It works perfect for us. Nextly, a lot of people really like to complain and bash on Peloton for the instructors, for the programs, for the lack of this, for the lack of that. And to be honest, I don't disagree with any of that. But it's totally manageable, because you can do your own thing. And in fact, I don't follow any of the pre-programmed stuff that they have, right? You can mute the instructor. You don't have to listen to them at all. But what you do get is all of that very valuable data that you get on the bottom. Your speed, your work, your resistance. So I can totally tailor my own workout program. And in fact, even better, I recently created a workout program that's perfect for me. I put it over the top of one of my favorite rides down in southern Utah called Church of Rocks. And I've got my different zones that I'm supposed to be in. I've got my different times that I'm supposed to be in. I can put my phone right on the Peloton and pedal through my program. I can still get my stats that the Peloton provides. And I can get totally jazzed about what I'm actually doing, because I get to watch mountain biking. It is the best. Check it out. I'll link it up here. And that's the takeaway here, right? There's a myriad of different options that you have out there for trainers, whether it be one of these stationary type bikes, whether it be one of those turbo type trainers that you plug your bike into. Who cares? Just use it, and use it intentionally. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I would love to hear what works for you guys. Like this video, please. If you haven't already, subscribe. Again, Grant, Roo Bike. I'm out of here. Bye.